Well, welcome back. Week 3. It is bread and spread because we're only two of us.
Only two.
Conlon, where are you? I'll say this, and Conlon will be pissed about this, and I don't care. There is something called being an adult and mature and communicating. Would you agree?
So are you saying not communicating and then waiting until we're about 3/4 of the way through this and then jumping in with snide comments is not mature?
That's what. That's at some point when I was thinking to myself, he's just not gonna because he doesn't. Okay, so everyone who's listening, he's not fucking responding. Like we don't know. Which,
Yeah.
by the way, Conlon, is really hard to fucking plan. Because I thought to myself, he's gonna jump on, even if he jumped on right away. And I'm like, I'm not ready for like I wanted to prep for like our top 5 most hated athletes, whatever. We're not if he jumps on, we're not doing it because I'm not ready.
No,
And I
I'm
just don't
not
like
either.
I haven't been able to prepare because he will not respond.
No. So we end up moving forward with talking about last week, talking about coming week and can't really get into the heart of the content. Unfortunately, the John is a big part of the conversation considering he's not been on yet.
Yeah. And you think he'd be on because he went 12-4 last week in his picks.
Says especially last week.
I went 4-12 and you went?
I went 1-15, which is it's very hard to do. That is almost impossible.
I've said this for so long about gambling. Like because gambling, if you just if you hit over 50% for the most part, you make money. Just take opposite picks.
Yeah.
I've said this for years with Conlon too when we've done this. Just take opposite picks and then you should be okay. You would have been 15-1.
I would have been 15-1. I almost ran the table in reverse, which is almost unheard of. And this is again, I am much more of the fantasy person than the betting on lines. It never been my thing. Willing to come on here and that's why we have John as our guy to do this. That's not I'm trying to fill in, but I'm clearly not up to his caliber. But he's not here, so we got to move forward.
Yep. And I am just as we do this, like I did last time, I'm going to tweet out that we are live. So bear with me here. Just want to make sure that people know. We'll get to our fantasy recaps that we picked last week. I know it's great for podcasts, but god damn it, I didn't press that. So annoying. Okay. All right. Well, let's we recapped the shitty week. Well, for me and you, and Conlon was great, and Conlon's not here, so it's spread and spread. Week 3.
Yeah. Just a crazy week, and just some of the things that went on. The money that changed hands. You even look at Browns, Jets, Cardinals, Raiders. What am I missing? Just so many wild endings and comebacks and close games and the games with the big spreads. Rams, Falcons came down to the Rams. Almost blowing that. The Falcons had a chance. Just a crazy week, and I don't know if it's showing that the NFL has got a lot of parity, or if it's showing that teams basically not playing preseason games means a lot of shitty football in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw it last year a little bit too. It's just, guys, there's no continuity, which we've talked about already. But
yeah,
we'll recap the Bears. The Bears Packer game. We'll recap when we get to the next game for Green Bay. So
sure.
Tomorrow night, Pittsburgh is at Cleveland. Cleveland is favored by 4.5. I do my picks before we get on here.
Yeah.
And I left this one blank because I don't have a freaking clue.
Yeah, and I don't know if I went first last week every time. So
you want me to go first?
Yeah, why don't you go first this week?
Okay, let me just make sure I got my sheet up here. And I'm going to be sporadic. It's weird because I thought about this game and I was like, Pittsburgh kind of impressed me the first week they beat Cincinnati, then they get beat by New England, and I don't know what to think. I don't know how long Trubisky's going to be their quarterback. It's a Thursday night game. Cleveland, whatever. I think to myself, are they going to come back after a huge loss to the Jets, like pissing it away? And I think this is a team that could just fold. So I got Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm looking at this game going, it's a 4.5 point spread. Cleveland's 4.5, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the over under's 38.
38 and a half.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at probably a not a very good game. That said, I do think Cleveland might have that little bit of a bounce back. The short weeks are tough. They've got a lot to prove. Obviously there's always going to be that inferiority complex with Pittsburgh. So I like the Browns here, and that's going to lead into what I talk about when we get in the fantasy section.
All right. Ooh, Thursday night fantasy. Well, yeah, I suppose we're doing a showdown.
Yeah, I'll do one pick from there.
Yep. All right, sounds good. Next one on the board: Las Vegas at Tennessee. Vegas is favored by -2. Tennessee has looked as bad as you can probably look, I think, out of any team this year, right?
Yeah, they've been terrible, and this was the number 1 seed in the AFC last year.
Yeah. Now the Raiders are 0-2 as well, so they didn't look much better. They're favored on the road. I'm a Raiders fan. I'm taking the Raiders -2.
Yeah, and this is one where I think my tendency would be, okay, the Titans are at home. They're a home dog. They are, they played really poorly. They've got a ton of talent. We expect a bounce back, but they've been so bad. I think the Raiders are 0-2, but I think have looked better at times.
Yeah, they should have won last week.
Yeah, so I'm going to take the Raiders here as well.
This will be a game that we look at next week and be like, yeah, I should have took the home dog because that made sense.
Right.
All right, hang on. Let me just type these in here. All right, next game. Houston on the road at Chicago. Chicago is favored by 2.5. Houston, I think, has looked okay. Who the hell
they've been frisky.
Yeah, they lost to Denver last week, right? But it was close.
It was really close. I'm going to say 16-9 to Denver, and then they were frisky in week 1 too.
Yeah, they tied with they tied Indy.
Tied Indy, yeah.
Yeah. The Bears look awful. I think we look. That game. We'll get into that game last week in a little bit, but Chicago's bad. Their best receiver has 2 targets for 4 yards in the year. Thank you for the fantasy, by the way. That's awesome. Glad I have him. They look awful, and I'm taking Houston. Yeah,
and I want to take Houston as well because I thought Chicago looked terrible on Sunday night. They look like a team that actually was capable of even beating Green Bay last week, but just could not get themselves together and could not have any type of consistency. So I'm going to take the Bears here.
I'm not. You're about to see why I'm laughing. Okay.
Okay. Somebody commented. Oh my.
Conlon, put your camera on.
I can't. I'm driving, for Christ's sake.
Wow.
Where are you driving?
I'm in Green Bay for kids' activities.
You by yourself?
I am by myself at the moment.
Don't you have like a hands-free device you can put it on? We can see you driving at least.
No, I don't have a freaking. What am I, a traffic cop?
Yeah, to think that you have a phone holder is a big stretch.
It's called my hand.
All right. Well, you're gonna come up to speed real quick here. Pittsburgh at Cleveland. Cleveland -4.5. Who do you got? And we lost him probably.
Probably.
Alan, we can't hear you if you muted yourself. This is great podcast material.
Oh my goodness, yes.
All right, until he moves on or chimes in.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You were in the middle of laughing.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I was in the middle of I'm going to take the Bears just because I think they're going to establish a ground game again. That gets into some of my fantasy picks later on. So I'll take the Bears here.
Conlon, you back now?
I'm back. I don't know. I think I had a phone call ringing through, so it caused problems with cutting that off. I said I wanted to take a pause, and did we reflect on John's stellar week last week?
We you can. We did a
Briefly.
little bit, but you can rehash it for the listeners.
Oh no. I mean, it's 1 in 15. Is that correct?
Yeah,
He's 100% correct.
almost ran the table in reverse.
Yeah. I mean, that could. I would, if you gave Wesley those picks, there's no way he would have done that.
No, it's not possible for
I mean,
almost impossible for anybody to do worse.
wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, thanks.
Congrats.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
So Pittsburgh, yeah, beginning of the year, you'd think this would be a interesting game to look at. This is not a great game. But I'm going to take Pittsburgh on this, just simply from the fact of I'll take the better coach, and Jacoby Brissett is not that great, and Trubisky will find a way to keep it close but not win.
Alrighty. Hey, by the way, what do we got for how much time we got for you? What's your plan for the evening here?
I have about a good half hour.
All right, so you're not driving home, you're driving to something else?
No, I'll be driving home, but then I'll have someone in the car with me, which I can easily do. But if I get, out of hand, they'll learn some new things about Dad.
They don't know them already?
Not all of them.
All right. So you got Pittsburgh. All right. Then we went over Las Vegas -2 at Tennessee.
Oh my gosh. Well, two teams that need a win. One is looked awful, being the Titans against the Bills. Now, that could just be that the Bills are very good, and that's definitely the case. Titans blew the game against the Giants. Raiders played a competitive game against the Chargers, and then last week they blew a game against Super Mario, which was unbelievable. And this is at Tennessee, correct?
Yes.
Oh God. I'll take the Raiders on this just because Carr's the better quarterback. They have Adams, and the Titans have no one to throw to. And I think that Derrick Henry is on the downfall. He's on the way down.
That would appear so. Super Mario, Kyler Murray, I'm assuming we're talking about?
Yes. He ran around unbelievable. That was incredible.
Are we doing Super Mario because he's short, or he's running around like he's in Mario Brothers, or what?
Both, yes.
Okay. I thought maybe you'd go Yoshi if you're going on size wise.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's not get literal here.
He's definitely Mario before Mario gets the mushroom, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's infantile stage Mario, and then all of a sudden it's game time, and then he grows, and then he runs around, and then he gets punched in the face or slapped in the face by a fan.
But Kyler is not going to get the mushroom. He's going to be mini Mario
forever.
Yeah, forever. Yep.
All right, next game, Conlon. Houston at Chicago. Chicago's favored 2.5.
Oh God, barn burner, just what everybody wants to see. Well, Chicago's giving 2.5, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And what were your picks, or did you guys pick this? Well, John was.
Matters, does it? You're not supposed to hedge our picks.
I'm not. I'm just curious of insight on that one because
I took Houston. Kashuda took Chicago.
Yeah. If the weather is fine, I'll take Houston to win that game. Davis Mills is a better quarterback than Fields easily. Houston's defense isn't spectacular, but neither is the Bears, to be honest. And Houston actually has better weapons than what Chicago has to deal with on offense, at least. And plus, it's just the Bears. I mean, Fields is most of his passing yards came on a freaking flea flicker or whatever the hell that was to EQ. So that was he played terrible. He was awful.
Will he ever be good? I don't think he will be, but
well, he went to Ohio State, so I mean the trend is that he'll suck as a quarterback because they don't do anything good for quarterbacks.
It sure seems like it.
And I hate Ohio State quarterbacks, so I just hope that's the case.
And you hate Chicago.
Well, yes, but I really I've worked with way too many people that went to Ohio State that they are my top list of people that I always root against.
Alrighty. All right, next game is Kansas City at Indy. Kansas City is favored by 5.5. I have no indication that Indy knows how to play football at all, and Kansas City looks pretty good for the most part, so I will take Kansas City.
Yeah, and I'll go the same way here. I don't see any indication that Indianapolis is going to be a good football team this year. They don't have much in terms of a home field advantage. Kansas City came out of the gates a little slow against the Chargers, but then that offense is really clicking, and I think especially indoors, Kansas City is going to be fine. I definitely take the Chiefs here.
Well, yeah. So the Colts have been awful. Matt Ryan hasn't really looked that great at all. Now, granted, last week he didn't have his two best receivers, Pittman and Pierce. Pierce is, a rookie, but man, that was a bad offense, and that didn't help Taylor at all. And defensively, they clearly can't do much there. And the Chiefs have looked like the Chiefs. So, I mean, it's hard to not usually, on home dogs, I've been liking to take the underdog, but the Colts have clearly not shown anything to make you say, well, I think they'll turn around this week. So I'll take the Chiefs.
All right. Possibly the game of the week. We have Buffalo at Miami. Buffalo
No.
is what? It's what? You think Green Bay Tampa Bay is the game of the week? Is that what your no is?
Well, I don't know.
Was that what you were going to say?
No, never mind. Buffalo, Miami. You're right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought he was yelling at his dog there for a second.
Dog's not in the car.
Get on, Axel.
Buffalo's favored by 6 at Miami. Kisher, do you go first on this one?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that would chase after Miami after their performance against Baltimore. It was impressive comeback. I think that there's like people who now are like, oh, it was worth them taking Tua, and they've got all these weapons. There's no way I'm going against Buffalo at all with the way that they've looked. I think they can put up points against anybody, and I think their defense is good enough where even if they do give up a few points, they're going to make a ton of plays. I'm not going against Buffalo.
I agree. I don't think I need to say more. Buffalo's a freaking juggernaut right now. I don't know why. I mean, it's a home dog thing. It's a divisional home dog. That'd be the only reason I'd want to take Miami, but it's 6 points. It's all it is a last-second touchdown, and they win. Conlon.
Yeah, it's hard to bet against Buffalo the way they have played the first 2 weeks and kicked the crap out of the Rams and obviously beat the Titans very easily. But there's just something about teams that go down to South Florida, and especially in September, October, they just typically don't play very well. Like, they just don't adjust to that weather easily. It's always going to be hot and very humid. McDaniel's got these guys. It seems they got a little bit of mojo going, clearly. Now, Buffalo's got a good defense, but I think that's just too many points with that type of, like I said, weather difference is going to be a factor. Good offense on the Dolphins side. I think it'll be close. I think it's less than 6 points, probably just a field goal game. So I am going to take Miami.
Is there a more, I don't know if I want to say unassuming, but non-head coach looking coach than Miami's coach?
No, but I love it. I like him a lot.
Well, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I'm just like, holy hell. I was watching the game with Cade, and I'm like, that's their head coach. That's what their head coach looks like.
It's great.
All right, NFC North game, Detroit at Minnesota. Minnesota 2. Hey, look good against Green Bay, looked crappy last week against Philly. Minnesota is favored by 6 points. Conlon, go ahead. You start.
Oh God.
Unless you want me to. I'm quick with my pick, so I can if you'd like.
Sure, go ahead.
I hate Minnesota. I'm taking Detroit. I think Detroit can score on them. And 6 points is a lot. And it's like you see glimpses of how good Minnesota could be, and then all of a sudden you see against Philly, and you're like, what the hell is this team? And I think Detroit can score, so I think Detroit can keep it close.
Me next?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel the same way, and I not just because I also hate the Vikings, but Detroit put up 36 last week, and Washington's defense is actually fairly decent. Minnesota, unfortunately for all their fans, is not going undefeated, shockingly. And in a divisional game, with Detroit being able to put up points like they can, I don't know if they'll win the game, but 6 is too much. So I'll take the Lions.
Yeah, well, this is now, it's not a primetime game, so Cousins will come out and try to shine because he sucks in primetime. But I think I agree with you guys. I mean, Detroit's just been playing, very competitively. They played great against the Eagles. Granted, that was a home game to open the year, but they played. They definitely don't quit. I think Campbell has them kind of playing with that mentality of, hey, play into the underdog role, and Detroit has enough weapons to be, to definitely be competitive. So for sure, I wouldn't take the points in Minnesota. I would take the points on Detroit's end, and who knows? It's one of those teams where they can sneak in a win, and Goff got his first win against the Lions or against the Vikings last year. Go Google that, or go search for that clip on Twitter. And there's a side by side of Jared Goff and then his girlfriend finding out that he won the game.
Last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All 0 listeners, go search for that.
No, I'm saying you two.
Yeah. Okay. We'll Google it while we're talking.
All right, next game. Baltimore is at New England. Baltimore is favored by 3. This is one of those games. This is a game as I stated last week, I hate Baltimore. I've hated Baltimore forever. Cannot stand them. I'm surprised. Again, New England's a team. They look like something first week, and then they look decent last week. I'm taking I get these coin flip games in a row, I'm taking the points, so I'm going to take New England.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that same boat. This is one of the tougher games. Obviously, Baltimore has proven the first 2 weeks they can score points, but Belichick's still the defensive coordinator. Still runs a defense. He's not defensive coordinator, he's head coach and the GM, but he still runs a defense in New England, and I think he's going to give him a little bit of a problem again. I see this as a sloppy game, and I'm going to take the Patriots here.
Yeah, I'd take the Patriots as well. Just between those two coaches, I always lean towards Belichick just because of he finds a way to make things happen. How to shut down certain things, contain, frustrate Jackson. Because they still don't have a solid running back option to look at there, and he'll find your best weapon to take away. So whether it's Andrews or if he decides on Bateman, one of those two will take that away, and then see what Lamar can do from there. So yeah, I like the Patriots in that spot, to get the points.
All right, next game, a must-win game, I believe, for Cincinnati here. Must win. They're 0-2. They're on the road against the Jets, who pulled off an amazing comeback win. I'm taking Cincinnati just because I'm sorry, didn't I say the points today? Cincinnati's favored by 5. I'm taking Cincinnati just because it is a must-win game. If they lose, I suppose they could win this by a small amount, but my assumption is they're gonna come out and play like it is a must-win game, and they will win by more than the 5.
Yeah, I mean, Cincinnati's like horrible, and if there was any more of a gimme win than going into Dallas without Prescott,
Jesus.
you would think that one was just going to be an easy win, and they were horrible. The Jets with Flacco, were able to put up 31 points last week. I'm going to take the Jets here.
Yep, I would agree. I think they're a scrappy enough team, that Saleh gets them kind of fired up, and another team that doesn't quit. And the problem with that team is going to be, I think, when Zach Wilson comes back, they're probably going to lose some of their mojo, because Flacco is at least serviceable enough to, he can get the ball downfield. He can do certain things that Wilson can't. And, I just feel like Cincinnati, like you said, John, for them to not go into Dallas and put a beat down on them, for Chase to play that bad. I mean, that was pretty disgusting performance, to let Cooper Rush beat you.
Yeah.
So I think you definitely take the Jets.
Conlon, I just want to let you know, I think we have a listener or a viewer.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure it's J Powell. If you want to give J Powell a shout out.
Oh, hey, J Powell, you loser.
I will say this. He is a very dedicated listener. He talks about when's spreading bread. When's it coming? When's the podcast this week? So I think he probably forgot. I sent him the link, and 5-10 seconds after I sent the link, we got a viewer. So it's got to be J Powell.
He puts it on the background. He probably doesn't even listen.
I think he listens. I don't know. He'll listen the day after, and he'll give me recaps as we talk.
Oh yeah, all the picks that he would have taken that helped.
Oh my God. If anyone could have matched Kashuta's 1 for 15, it's probably J Powell.
Okay.
I mean, that is just amazing. Just
fair to say it'll never happen again this year, will it? I mean, we've got
I don't know. I mean,
there's
2 weeks left. I can guarantee it will never happen again. Not guarantee it, but I will say it probably will not.
No.
Right.
All right. NFC East game. Philly is at Washington. I'm going to do my best to take any division games. I'm taking the home dogs. I shouldn't, because I think Philly looked pretty good, but I'm going to take Washington and the points.
Yeah, to me, this feels like a trap game, where I think people are thinking Philly is on the upswing, and they're going to be an elite team in the NFC. They could win this game, but I think 6.5 is way too much on the road in a divisional game where it's a Washington team that I think is going to be competitive this year. I don't think that's a playoff team, but I think they're going to cause some problems in the NFC East for a lot of teams. So I'll take the Commanders.
Redskins.
Yeah, I think I'm the same. Take home dogs, divisional opponents. Again, they just find a way to keep it close. There's no way they're going to win. I think the Eagles win the game, but they'll find a way to keep it close. Wentz will throw an interception at the end and look stupid, like he's got that dumb face all the time.
That's good. That's the analysis that we've been missing.
Well,
welcome back, Conlon. Welcome back.
You can always tell by looking the guy's face. Does he really have it or not? And Jalen Hurts, he's been playing awesome. Wentz, he can have glimpses, and then he makes really, really bad throws and dumb plays. And but like I said, it's not about winning; it's about keeping it close. So I'll take the Commanders to keep it close.
All right, moving on to another divisional game with a home dog, New Orleans at Carolina. I will keep the trend. I'm going to take Carolina plus the points. Is Jameis Winston any good at football? What the hell?
He's very streaky.
Oh
he has
God.
awesome glimpses where he's great, and then he goes away, and you're like, "What the hell? What the hell happened? Why did you throw that? And where were you throwing that?"
I just don't know what to expect from week to week. I mean, I don't know how you ever bet on New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he eats a W this week. I think this is like a 5-pick game, and it's going to be super ugly. So I'll take the Panthers as well.
Yeah, well, and the Saints, did Lattimore get suspended?
I don't think he did. I think just Evans did.
Just Evans did. Wow. Okay. Because he retaliated pretty well on that whole situation. So Evans definitely got the bad end of that deal.
I'll definitely
take it.
I don't think he did.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that Lattimore did, just from the standpoint of the Saints defense. The Saints, their defense is still very good because Allen is still, he's a head coach. He was in charge of the defense leading up to being the head coach. But I feel you just can't trust. Well, you can't trust either of those quarterbacks. But I feel like Carolina's been so close in their games that I like them to be close in this one and cover the spread. So I'll take Carolina.
Jeez, we are boring right now, taking all the same picks.
We are super boring.
I think we might change in this one. We'll see. Let's go to a non-divisional game. Jacksonville, who has looked very frisky this year, is playing at the Chargers, who essentially do not have a home field advantage. The Chargers are getting 7 points. Kushida, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I like the Chargers here, and I think they're coming off, a Thursday night loss where they really showed some life. I thought they were going to come back and win that game against the Chiefs. So I know Herbert's banged up, or Bear is banged up with his ribs. But I think this is where the Chargers, they're a good team, and I think they're really going to show up this week. They are going to have a home field advantage because it's not like Jacksonville fans are going to be there. So even if it's a half full stadium full of whatever Chargers fans there are, they are going to have the home field advantage. I think they're going to come out and play well. That it will lead into my DFS picks here later. So I like the Chargers.
I have the Chargers too. Go ahead, Conlon. That's my insight.
Awesome insight there, Harry.
I think it should be the Chiefs. They should one bad fucking throw and take it away. They beat the Chiefs.
Yeah. Well, with the Jaguars, what you're seeing is you just see how much of a detriment that Urban Meyer, that scumbag, was to the Jaguars and stunting, Lawrence to have any success, and Doug Peterson, for getting run out of town in Philadelphia, is actually a pretty good coach. Gets pretty creative on offense with the things that he does, and they have pretty good weapons offensively. So, still a lot of points, and for a team that's, I think, got a little bit of, call it momentum, if you will. I like the Jaguars to cover. I think the Chargers win, but I think it's all about just keeping it close, and the Chargers will win by 3-4 points.
John, where did Urban Meyer most recently coach college football?
Oh, yeah. Scumbag Meyer at the Ohio State University.
Yeah, that's
University.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Urban Meyer does no justice for any quarterback, aside from the only guy that's ever had any success, which he left early anyways, was Alex Smith. Everybody else after that, they all sucked.
Come on, Cardale Jones. He was solid.
Miller sucked. JT Barrett didn't make it.
Conlon, I don't know what you're doing with your phone, but keep it close to your face because you're trailing in and out.
Stupid headset.
There you go, stupid headset. So you're taking Jacksonville, is that what you said?
Yep.
Okay. Moving on to another divisional game. Rams at Cardinals. Cardinals are getting 3.5. Simply put, as we've said, home dogs, divisional. I'm taking the Cardinals.
The Rams have looked like crap. I mean, they've looked bad. Cardinals haven't shown me much either. But they're the home dog. I'm going to take the Cardinals as well. So we just keep picking the same teams.
No, not the last one.
Not the last one, but
Um,
Sam and I.
so, I think there's something there in the preseason. There's there's issues with Stafford's arm. He was having problems with it, and they're put him on a pitch count, things like that. I think there's still some of that stuff is still lingering. The running back situation is not great, so they don't have a dominant running back there that that they've used to have in the past, or that where they can lean on the run. Um, you know, Robinson had a touchdown last week, but that offense definitely doesn't look as creative or innovative than it has, in the prior years. Um, and their offensive line definitely isn't as good. So I like the Cardinals. Yeah, take the home dogs. Why not?
Alrighty. We'll save the Green Bay for last, obviously. The last 3:00 game is Atlanta at Seattle. Seattle is favored by 1. It is a disgusting game. And when it's disgusting games, you take the points. So I'm taking Atlanta.
Yeah, and I'm going to finally go in a different direction. I'm just going to take Seattle. It's basically a coin flip game. Points almost don't even matter here. So I'll take the Seahawks.
Yeah, I agree. In this situation, you take the home environment. Probably allowed again with the stupid 12th man, and Seattle's defense. Against the Broncos looked pretty good. Atlanta's offense isn't anything to speak of. They clearly don't realize that they have Kyle Pitts on their team. They don't do anything with him. And Mariota is just not. He's not a playmaker. He's more of he's pretty much like a game manager. It seems like. Not that Geno Smith is a playmaker either, but I'll just take in this case. I'll take the better coach at home and let him lay the points.
Why is Texas A&M not more pissed off about the fact that Seattle basically took that 12th man thing and used it like it's their own?
I don't know. Who
So
knows?
stupid.
I don't like college football, so I have no idea.
Really?
Texas A&M.
Okay. Texas A&M is in Texas, Sam.
Oh my God, I know that.
Yeah.
Sunday night game, San Francisco with the new quarterback at Denver. San Francisco is favored by 1.5 at Denver. Denver seemingly has a coach that has no idea how to manage any kind of time or do anything. How the hell did he do anything? I mean, I guess he wasn't doing clock management at Green Bay, but what just atrocious. I think for San Francisco, this is a better thing than having Trey Lance. I'm taking San Francisco.
Yeah, I definitely agree that San Francisco is a better team with Garoppolo quarterback. I do think Denver. This is the week I think they start to put a few things together. It starts to click a little bit more. This offense has not looked good, but I feel like they have too many weapons to be an underdog at home already. So I'm going to take Denver.
Yeah, this is kind of an interesting one here because you think at some point, like whatever has been going on in Hackett's head, like clearly he has ability. He's done well with offenses, and like granted, he wasn't calling plays in Green Bay, but guys like Rodgers and other people think very highly of him. I mean, hell, he was like a few minutes away from taking Blake Bortles to the Super Bowl with Jacksonville in their offense, and he was calling their plays. I think it's maybe just going to take a little bit of time for them to figure things out. But the challenge is you're going up against San Francisco now that, like you mentioned, Sam, like I read an article today that a couple people in San Francisco, a couple 49ers admitted like they feel a lot more confident. They feel like there's more mojo in the room now with Garoppolo back at quarterback, probably because they know that he's a guy that they know what he can do, right? He may not be the athlete that Lance is, but he knows where to put the ball and how to run the offense, and they trust him. So I think I'm going to take San Francisco in this one.
All righty. All right, 2 games left. Monday night game is Dallas at the Giants. The Giants were favored by 2.5 yesterday and is now down to 1. So the Giants are favored by 1. I mean, they're 2-0. Dallas. This is the hardest game for me to pick because I think I don't like Prescott, and I think it would be funny if they keep winning without Prescott. But I think it's funnier that the Giants keep winning, so I'm going to take the Giants.
Yeah, I like the Giants here too, and again, I think Dallas winning that game against Cincinnati last week maybe has more to do with Cincinnati just playing horrible right now. They got that Super Bowl loss hangover going, so I don't think Dallas is any good. Giants aren't much better, but Giants are at home, so I'll take the Giants.
I'll take the Giants in this one too. They've been playing, a lot better under this new coach. It seems like they feel like there's some belief. They're using Barkley. They have, they have enough guys on defense to shut down clearly whoever Dallas has with Cooper Rush. So I don't know. I think I'm going to ride the hot hand of the Giants and go with them.
Well, we have a lot of agreements tonight. I'm terrified that we're all going to just go in the fucking tank with Kashuta, Conlon.
Yeah, I'm going to drag you all down.
That's not possible.
You're all coming down with me.
Oh, all right. We got one last game. All right, let's recap. It's Green Bay, Tampa Bay, but let's recap Green Bay, Chicago. Any thoughts? Well, I know you guys have thoughts, so I'll let Kashuta, you can start. Give us your thoughts from the Chicago Green Bay game.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the Packers is it's always the best way to get back on track is to play the Bears. It's always seemed that way over the years, especially in the Rodgers Favre era. That things are going bad. Okay, we'll play the Bears and get a win. The Packers didn't look particularly impressive in a lot of ways. I think they had some opportunities to really put that game away. The fumble was, the 2 turnovers and consecutive drives there in the second half is really disappointing. I think we saw the defense come to life somewhat, but I don't know if it's just the Packers played better or the Bears were just so terrible. I really can't figure out really what that game was about. I mean, it was nice to see him put some points on the board and make some plays on defense, but yeah, I don't really know what I don't know how much you can take from that game given how bad Chicago played.
Yeah, it's one of those similar type situations where, from a Green Bay side, they got Jenkins back, which is good to just get him back on the field, kind of work his way back into playing, which is awesome. Now they just need to figure out when and if Bakhtiari ever come back and play and be any semblance of what he ever was. And it seems to be that's a big question at this point. But the defense did look better. They were able to chase down Fields. Like one of the biggest plays I thought was Walker, the rookie, ran down and knocked Fields out at the pylon, where in the past there's no linebacker the Packers would ever had that could do that. They would have just fell on the ground halfway to it because they're so slow. So now, the speed, but again, they played an offense that, they don't even, it was so archaic. They weren't doing anything, elaborate that guys couldn't get open. Their receiver Mooney, who said thought he was so good. He clearly did nothing. But on offense for the Packers, they did what they should have done, and they got Dillon and Jones heavily involved, and Jones had a great game. Dillon played great, and Sammy Watkins made big plays. That's what you want him to do. You don't need him to be super. You don't need him to have 7 catches a game, but you just be in spurts and make plays when you can. And it was just a well-rounded offensive game. But again, it's hard to say. Is this going to catapult them for the rest? For the next 4 or 5 games, it's hard to say. But it definitely helps to win and get a little bit of confidence.
All right, sorry, I was just answering a text here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, sir. No, I'll tell you offline. Yeah, I don't really need to say much more in the game. It's leading into this game. It's worrying. So we'll just segue into this game. I just worry. I just don't know what's going to happen. I don't like, no, we don't trust the offense right now, right? Jones doesn't have any role the first week. Then he's a ton the second week. I don't receiver wise know what the hell's going to happen. I don't know. Then on the Tampa Bay side, so Tampa Bay is favored by 1. It's at Tampa Bay. I just moved on from the Bear game. That's fine. No Evans. Brady looks like he's 45 with a facelift. The defense looks good, which is one thing that worries me. But I think with no Evans, I think that's the biggest loss right now and the biggest advantage for the Packers. So I'm going to take the Packers.
Yeah, and I want to think that Evans going out is going to make the difference, and that's going to be what helps the Packers win this game. And I want that to be the case. But all these years of watching these games in Tampa, especially under Rodgers, I just looked it up. He's 2-3 against the Buccaneers, and that includes some home games. He's had a tendency to not play well down there. And it's what is the Taylor Swift song? I think I've seen this film before and I didn't like the ending. And I don't have a good feeling, so I'm gonna take the Buccaneers. I don't want to. I want to see Green Bay win, but I'm gonna take the Buccaneers.
Yeah, this is always a fun one to pick against, because you're like, well, this will be the year that Rodgers will get it done, and then you have Evans out, and offensive weapons for the Buccaneers kind of banged up. His line isn't as great, and then he'll find a way to. Scotty Miller will have 11 catches for 160 yards, and you're like, how the hell did that just happen?
Right.
Now, the last game, in the Bears game, the rookie wide receivers, they didn't do a whole lot. I mean, there's a couple of screen passes. Dobbs looked pretty good on a couple of plays. Watson didn't really do much. I thought that they would find an opportunity to throw something deep, and they really didn't do that aside from one play to Watkins at the end. But now I just read that Watson was like limited in practice today with like soft tissue stuff. So who knows if that's hamstring or whatever. It's like, good Lord, can we not figure this out? But you think at some point here in the next few games, there'll be a big play by one of those two guys, right? There's going to be a big bomb or a big pass play that gets them going. And I think maybe that is this week. Rodgers' chances of beating Brady are dwindling. Obviously, like this is probably the last year you would think that they'll play. I mean, I would hope so. Hopefully for Brady's sake. But I just have this feeling that the way their offense is going to be constructed, it's not just Adams that they're firing at. They'll start figuring this thing out more and more. And to running approach will play it in and start pounding, and that and they can't take the.
Conlon, you're in an awful spot. You sound kind of like a robot.
Oh, headset went out. Is that better?
Yes.
Oh gosh. So where did you lose me at? All of it?
Just maybe the last 10 seconds.
Oh, I'll take the Packers.
That works. All right.
I won't go on my diatribe again.
How far are you from home, Conlon?
20 minutes.
Oh, gee. Are you driving 20 miles an hour from Green Bay or what?
I just left like 5 minutes ago.
What the hell? Have you just been sitting in your car or what? We've been on for like a half an hour.
Yes.
Okay, whatever. Because we're gonna save the DFS stuff because Conlon can chime in. We are gonna talk about something. I have this one loaded up because we can all talk about it.
Sure.
So The theme more so now, the theme of this week, I think, is going to be, and there's like 5. I'm saying a lot. There's 5 examples of this. Is coaching. We're going to talk coaching. Coaching is very relevant with all of us this week for one reason or another. Are we sure LaFleur is a good coach? What are our thoughts?
I think he's an innovative guy. I think he puts together good game plans for the most part. I can hear myself echoing, and I don't like the sound of my voice.
I can't see your phone time.
I think he's a good coach. I think he's that guy where, I think his playoff record has proven that in some of those moments, his teams aren't well prepared in the big moments, but generally, yeah. I mean, I think he's a good coach. I think he's only going to get better.
He's proven himself from a win standpoint. I mean, winning in the NFL is hard no matter who you are, right? And to come out your first 3 years and to win as many games as he has, it doesn't just happen. And if that, you can just say, well, it's because he has Rodgers. Well, it clearly didn't work for McCarthy. So, I think with him, innovation is what, like John mentioned, that's definitely what he brings to the table. He puts together a pretty good staff. And I think the players buy into what he's trying to do. He's not, I wouldn't say it doesn't seem like he's a player's coach, but he knows how to interact with the guys. And it's probably because he's younger in age, right? Where he kind of understands how guys operate, who needs what, and who to take, give some time off in practice and give some leeway to, and he interacts with them. So I don't know. I think there's other details that maybe lack a little bit of some of the time management stuff potentially, or just in the big games where they've faltered. But I think overall you can definitely call, very surprised if you would have guessed, 4 years ago, like when they hired him, would this be the case? Would you take this as a result? You'd be, heck yeah, sign up for this many wins every year. You'd definitely take it. But at the time, there were a lot of question marks.
So we say he's innovative. Was the 4th and goal play last week innovative when he just ran a dive?
I think it's easy to
as a whole.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just there's stuff that you question, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think the more games he coaches, the more things are going to happen where you're going to question it. Do I question him as often as I question McCarthy? No, because he manages the clock well. I think he's done a better job of constructing his staff, and I think he's been more responsive in terms of in games where they've needed to score points. He's been able to adjust his game plan. McCarthy at getting with no halftime adjustments all the time, constantly with going into games where they're up at halftime 14-10, and then the other team comes out and adjusts at halftime and McCarthy doesn't. We don't see that with LaFleur. He's I think he's his ability to be able to adjust in game far exceeds what we saw with McCarthy.
Mm-hmm. And clearly, part of managing your staff is important because, as much as he probably likes some of the guys, he realizes change had to be made, and changing out and going with an unpopular, it's making tough decisions. And added to that last button, ever got to change up. Very hard. You guys want to very low his feet. Just good. Some detriment.
All right, that's enough. Conlon, we can't last 5 seconds in robot again. It's kind of funny, but it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, for sure.
For people that's trying to listen to this, but I don't know what the hell's going on with your service or whatever. But
no idea.
We get to the playoffs. We had close games. Do we have any kind of trust for LaFleur? Do you expect? Are we? Because I have said this to Mike for so many years. The goal is the Super Bowl. That's not if the goal is not the Super Bowl, then just count me out. I don't even want to watch. Do we trust LaFleur to get to the Super Bowl? based on the last 3 years, obviously.
I mean, I think eventually, yeah. But you also, without Rodgers running that offense, I mean, it's going to be very difficult. So, I mean, you're basically asking, do I think the Packers are going to win the Super Bowl in the next 2 years?
I'm actually asking you this year. Do you think the Packers are going to go to the Super Bowl this year? Or I guess I should ask this. When they make the playoffs, are you going to trust LaFleur to get us to the Super Bowl?
I don't have a reason to do that yet.
Okay. Robot Conlon?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a hard thing to judge at this point in the season. I think you'd like to think that the guy. Oh, here it goes. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I thought it started going crazy again. Yeah, you'd like to think they learned from some of the mistakes and things that happened in the past. So it's hard. Yeah, I would still trust him. I don't know. He knows how to win games. Eventually, I think he'll figure out, what he needs to do when things get when the pressure gets tighter.
It's hard because you look at last year and if they don't give up a block punt to the 49ers in that playoff game, they're hosting the NFC Championship game against the Rams, and I think they're a better team than the Rams. And so I think it's been a combination of maybe getting out coached, but also some bad luck the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't play crappy defense like Kevin King, and
Right.
give up big plays. He didn't snap the ball as the long snapper and have that punt blocked. I mean, granted, he was part of the problem from an offense standpoint, but Adams and Rodgers were part of the problem as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Just a topic ahead. I wanted to pick your brains. I just enjoy sometimes obviously we're on a text string, so we go back and forth about a bunch of shit. So I wanted to just dig into it a little bit more. So DraftKings time. Kashuda, you're up. Thursday night game.
Yeah, I can be quick here. Now, Thursday night, I'm going to keep it fairly simple. And these Thursday night games, focusing in on a defense is always a good strategy. I think focusing in on the Browns defense and either using the Browns defense as a captain in a showdown or mixing them in where we've got Kareem Hunt as a captain or a Nick Chubb as a captain with the Browns defense, I think is a good way to go. It's going to be ugly. I mean, it's the over under is 38.5. It's gonna be a bad football game. Going with the defense is a great option tomorrow. As far as the Sunday slate, a quarterback, the guy I really like here is Justin Herbert. Assuming he's healthy, which I think he will be. I think that game's going to be one where there's going to be some points scored, and I think Jacksonville's going to be able to keep it close enough to where the Chargers are going to have to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And the Chargers really don't have what you'd consider a true running game with Eckler. He's more of a receiving running back. So I think Herbert as a quarterback is a great option. Might surprise you, but I actually like at running back David Montgomery coming back with the Bears against Houston. I think Chicago is going to come out and play it safe this week. They're gonna run the ball often because I think they really that franchise is really trying to focus in on getting some wins on the board. So I think Montgomery at running back, and then at receiver, I think there's a lot of opportunity to chase points this week with a Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, something like that, where I see a lot of that, and it's you don't get points for what they did last week. It's a week by week thing. So I think you want to pick guys where they're on the upswing, they're consistently getting targeted, but their price is at a reasonable level. I like a guy like Richie James for the Giants. He's had 5 catches on each of his first 2 games. He's priced at 3,200 right now, which is a really, really affordable price. And he's a guy that I think once he finds the end zone, boy, you're really going to get a lot of value there. A guy he's catching 5 balls a game. If he can get a touchdown at 3,200, I think that's a really great value.
Alrighty. My prize pick has already been bumped 35 yards. I had Mac Jones over 215.5 passing yards. It is now at 200.
Mac Jones.
200. I think it's already at like 250. So that's been bumped. I will go. We'll go one for tomorrow night. We'll go Brissett over 9.5 rushing yards.
He looks like he runs in mud.
Okay, just have to run 10 yards in mud. All right. And you know what? Let's go. I'll give you another one. We'll give you another one for the Sunday games. We'll go Geno Smith over 195.5 passing yards.
Oh, interesting. Who they play again? Who do the Jets play?
Atlanta. No.
No.
Smith plays for Seattle.
Oh, Geno Smith. Oh, yeah. Gosh. Holy crap. How many years ago is that?
Several.
Atlanta. Yeah. Okay. All right. What
Go ahead, Conlon.
for last week? How many yards did he throw for last week?
Geno Smith?
Yeah.
Checking. 197
Who did Seattle play?
at San Francisco.
Oh, yeah.
So now
Gosh.
he's home against the worst team.
Against the worst team, right?
Yeah.
And he threw for about the same, I think, the first week as well. Yeah, I think that's kind of an interesting one. I kind of like that. Yeah.
Well, I'm 2-0 so far. Actually, no, I lost my Adams. I'm 2-1. I gave an extra pick last week, and it was clearly got destroyed because they didn't want to throw at Adams last week.
Oh, yeah. What a disaster.
Survivor pick. We survived last week with the Rams after a shitty first week. Kashuti, do you have a survivor pick loaded up?
Did we both go Rams last week?
Yeah, we did. Remember? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even give me a second here. You have one?
I'll do mine. I'll go Chargers.
Or
Conlon, if you got one, if you want to pick one, you can pick one too. Even though you just decided to show up this week.
Well, the first week I picked which I don't even remember if I picked the first week. Last week I picked Cleveland in one of the pools I was in, so that went well. This week I would take, I would actually probably it'd be a little risky, but I would actually go just on pure confidence is take Seattle.
Yeah, I think this would be a week I'd probably take the Chiefs. Again, it's hard when you're on the road, but Indy is so bad.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of close games this week, so that you can't just.
Okay,
there's not a lot of options to fire.
You say you're taking Seattle, Conlon?
Yep.
And what are you doing, Kashuta?
Chiefs.
Chiefs. Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, when you look at some of the point spreads, you've got Minnesota and the Chargers are the biggest favorites at home, and then the other two are Kansas City 5.5 and Indy, Philadelphia 6.5. Washington. I wouldn't Philadelphia Survivor.
No, you don't touch. Well, division games are the tough ones. I said that the first week. Stay away from divisional games.
Yeah, and Buffalo's 6, but they're at Miami.
Yeah,
I wouldn't touch that either.
Touch that. Not a chance in hell.
So yeah, I like the Chiefs here.
All right, sounds good. Do we have anything else, fellas? We're kind of back. Robot, what, Conlon?
Yeah, I tried. Sorry. Oh, no, not again.
Yeah, where you at? Yeah, Conlon, where are you at next Wednesday?
Where am I at?
Are you going to be in your office, on the computer in front of us, which is what the crowd wants. The listeners want it.
I know. But
She was pulling me towards it.
They might. Oh. Wow. Possibly. Stay tuned. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll take you
Should
any way
we-
we can get you, Conlon.
Yeah, I'll take it. Whatever. This worked fine. By the way, before you jumped on, Conlon, we trashed you. I did mainly.
I know. I figured.
Oh, okay. You can listen to it. It's on YouTube.
It's okay. I don't mind.
Oh, come on. Yes, you do. Wait until you listen to it.
Oh.
I just said your communication was shitty and you were immature.
Oh. Wait a second. I resemble that remark.
Oh, that is such a dad comment.
Wow.
No, I was literally running all day, and then I was like, oh crap, he sent the link. So then I was like, I guess I gotta click on this thing.
Oh shit! I guess I have to talk to my friends for an hour. That sucks.
Well, I'm not in my normal habitat too. You know, I'm driving, so I'm making an effort.
You guys
And my
got
daughter's
plans
laughing at me.
for the game Sunday, doll?
No.
Don't think so.
Me neither.
You?
No. Crockpot Sunday. I'll throw some in the crockpot.
Oh, nice.
That'd be
Yeah.
it. So, alrighty. I'm going to end this because then we're going to talk real quick. So let me just end this. All right.
Okay. Yeah, and
Friend, bro. All right.